Meteorologist Tim Root with your KLEK 1 to 2.5 forecast. A few isolated showers and thunderstorms today, a blend of sun and clouds, the high around 85, northwest wind 5 to 10. Becoming partly to mostly clear tonight in the mid-60s. Mostly sunny near 90 Wednesday and light north winds. Thursday mostly sunny about 85 to 90, and it'll stay around 90 Friday, partly to mostly sunny. Educate, entertain, and empower. We're KLEK 1 to 2.5 FM.
From Feature Story News in London, I'm Catherine Drew. North Korea could be developing more missiles, according to media reports. Satellite imagery appears to show renewed activity at a factory that previously produced intercontinental ballistic missiles. It follows warming relations with the US. More than 500 hikers have been led to safety from Indonesia's island of Lombok after being stranded on a mountain following an earthquake. And researchers say the world's largest king penguin colony has shrunk nearly 90% in the past 30 years.
It's 9:01.
Community Conversations is brought to you by Arkansas Early Learning, offering no-cost childcare in Jonesboro and Northeast Arkansas. Applications at arearlylearning.org.
Arkansas Early Learning is a nonprofit organization.
KLEK LP Jonesboro, the voice of Arkansas Minority Advocacy Council. It's now time for Community Conversations, a program focusing on the people working to make the Jonesboro community a better place, while offering viewpoints from all sides of the issues. The views expressed in this program are those of the participants and do not necessarily reflect the views of KLEK 102.5 FM, the voice of Arkansas Minority Advocacy Council, or our underwriters or sponsors.
Good morning, everyone, and happy Tuesday to you. I hope that you're having a great start to your day. You're tuned in to Community Conversations on KLEK 102.5 FM. I'm your host, Kabila Jones, and my very special guest today is Mrs. Mattie Warren from Unique Path Counseling. Good morning.
Good morning, Miss Kabila.
How are you doing today?
I'm doing great. How are you?
All right, so I'm excited to have you here. We cannot talk enough about mental health awareness and more specifically, children getting the help that they need concerning their emotional, mental issues. But before we get into that, I want you to please give us an introduction of yourself.
Absolutely. So my name is Mattie Warren, and I am the owner of Unique Path Counseling here in Jonesboro, Arkansas. I received my bachelor's degree from Arkansas State University in social work. I went on to get my master's degree from the University of Tennessee in social work as well. I have done various agency work, including in-home counseling, school-based counseling. I've been a therapist for the past 11 years, and now I'm finally branching off on my own.
That's really awesome. That is awesome. So what made you decide to, after working for those different agencies, to branch out on your own?
Well, I mean, one of my favorite quotes is, "Are you the person you want your child to be?" So I always strive to be a leader or someone that my kids can look up to. Okay. So I wanted them to know that regardless of your past or regardless of how you feel you may have messed up in the past, that that doesn't determine your future. Okay. So you can strive to be the best you. And I enjoy working with children and families, and I just had a different mission, so okay. I wanted to be able to share my story in my own way.
Well, it takes special people to work with children, especially the little ones, and God bless you. Even though I say I love working with teenagers, some people may think I'm crazy for that, but I don't know, something about the little ones, they're different than teenagers, so it takes special people to reach them. So let's talk about some of the services that you'll be offering at your counseling center, at your agency.
Okay. I forgot to mention I'm a licensed certified social worker.
Okay.
As well as I just completed my advanced training in TFCBT, which is trauma focused cognitive behavior therapy. So I'll be able to work with a lot of kids who have experienced trauma. I'm also a registered play therapist supervisor, which I'm very proud of that. So I'll be able to provide individual therapy, family sessions, group therapy, and of course working with the kiddos.
That's wonderful. So let's branch off and talk about the kids and play therapy. I've heard this term, but I personally don't know a lot about it or enough about it to give opinion, please explain more about what play therapy is.
Absolutely. So play, let's just take the word play. Play is the child's natural medium of self-expression.
Okay.
They're able to develop coping skills and learn about different emotions through play.
Okay.
You learn how to communicate just through play.
Wow.
So then you take play therapy. So as you and I sit here and communicate, we're using words.
Okay.
Research shows that the frontal part of our brain, which helps us to problem solve, which help us to reason, that part of the brain isn't fully developed until our mid-20s. So think about a child, and their front part of their brain isn't, their part that's very important, isn't fully developed to sit down and verbally communicate what's going on with them, how they're feeling on the inside. So play therapy is a way for them to use play as their way of communicating, and the toys become their words.
That is really awesome. Okay, I never thought about it in that manner. Now, some of the research I've done, and this is again concerning teenagers, I do know that one of the reasons they make a lot of rash decisions, things that are not safe or the best decisions, is because of that underdevelopment of the part of the brain that controls those impulse decision making skills. Never thought about it for children, of course. That's really wonderful. So now when they're in play therapy, they're in their session, do you first decide, how do you decide what toys or what items to engage with the children with?
So a lot of people ask, so you just sit in there and play with the kids? Like, so it's not like we go to the store and just pick any toy off the shelf. Everything has a meaning to it.
Okay.
But it's not our goal to choose that meaning for the child. There's something that they do. Okay. So I know if there's any therapists listening, we've learned that there is a such term as client-centered therapy.
Okay.
So for children, this is called child-centered play therapy. Okay. So they're taking us inside of their world.
Oh.
So they are in control.
Wow.
So it's a big thing to sit back as an adult and allow the child to take control, because as therapists, when you're working with children, a lot of the times we will get information from the parents, from the teachers, from the principals, but we never know what's truly going on with the child because they're not able to verbalize it. But in this form, we're able to go on the ride with them, and they're showing us what they need from us and what's going on inside of them and what they need to resolve, instead of the parents saying, this is what I think is going on.
Okay. Now, during these sessions, are parents allowed?
Well, yes and no.
Okay.
Parents are allowed to come in when I feel that it's safe for them to come in.
Okay.
I like for the children to know that when they're with Miss Mattie, this is our special time. This is our special play time, and it's time for them to share whatever they need to share. And when I feel like it's important for the parent to come in there, then I will invite the parents in there. Because a lot of times as parents, it's hard for us to truly listen to what the kids are saying, because sometimes we feel like, I know what's going on and this is what I need you to do.
Yeah.
But for a parent to go in and I say, you have to allow the child to lead you.
Okay.
You know, you have to listen to the child and what they need from you. So it becomes funny, but it's very important that the parents learn that, because kids need to know that they can come to us and not feel judged, and it's safe, and to express what they need from us.
Okay. Now, once you have, so you go through a session with a child, depending if it's 30, 45 minutes or an hour, do you give the parents homework or assignments to do at home so that whatever you did in session won't go backwards? The child won't regress from what you know.
Say if the session is 45 minutes. 35 minutes would be developed. That would be just for the child, the 35 minutes. At the end, I would take those 10 minutes to go over with the parent. This is what I need you to focus on. Even if it's just, I need you to make sure that you play with this child this week.
Okay.
Because during this play, you're developing a relationship. Okay. And I tell parents all the time, you want to develop a relationship with your child while they're young, because when they hit those teenage years, those become some difficult times, and you want them to be able to come to you and express whatever they need to express. So you need to start from the beginning developing that relationship, and play is a way to do that with them.
With your previous work, have you ever ran into parents who were just, I don't want to use the word combative, they didn't, for lack of a better word or term, they didn't want to listen to you. They didn't want to take your advice to heart. They were kind of like, whatever, they're just a child. They kind of had that nonchalant, brush off kind of attitude.
Absolutely, because coming to counseling is a big thing.
Okay.
Because as a parent, you're thinking, are they judging me? Are they saying I'm a bad person? Are they saying that I'm not a good parent? What is she thinking about me?
Okay.
So I go in with the intention of making a relationship with them, developing that relationship.
Okay.
Because that's important, because you're going to need the parent on your side to make the therapy sessions as successful as possible. So you go in with the plan of, this is going to be a relationship. We got to have a good working relationship, and I need for her or him to trust me in what I'm doing for their family and for the child. Okay. So that's what you have to do. That's what I focus on.
All right. I want to say good morning to Minister Kenneth Hart Thomas and Ms. Chelsea Chapman. And Mr. Thomas says, "You're doing a great job, Ms. Mattie. May God continue to bless you."
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Now, on the flip side of parents not being cooperative, tell us what it's like when parents are cooperative and how it affects the child's progression with whatever behavior or issue they're having.
So that's the best setup, because it makes it so easy for me when you can get a parent to come into the playroom and just go with the flow.
Okay.
And not question everything and trust the process. And when you do assign things for them to do at home, that they come back and say, "Oh man, Miss Mattie, this really worked," because you tried it, So that's the perfect setup.
Now, with you having the different licenses you have, are you a mandated court reporter if you notice something that needs to be reported?
Absolutely, and that's a part of my intake process. I would let them know. But anyone who's just about anyone who's in the health field is a mandated reporter. Okay. But I'll let them know that anything that's done in session is confidential, unless they report harm to themselves or that they're going to harm themselves, or if I see some type of bruises on them that needs to be reported.
Okay, so let's get into talking about the referral process, how someone can become a patient of yours.
Absolutely. So they can call us. They can give us a call, or if their original PCP refers them, they can refer them. Okay. The school system can refer. The parents can refer. The only thing we ask is that, this is like a pet peeve, that if you refer someone, get permission, especially at the school systems. Just get permission from the family, so that because they're already going to be kind of resistant, because when you refer, you're saying like something's going wrong. Okay. So just get their permission so they'll know what's going on when we do call.
Okay. You don't want them to be blindsided.
Blindsided, that's the word.
Okay. So will all of your sessions or therapy you provide, will it be strictly in office, or will you ever go off-site?
Well, in private practice, it's totally different from agency work.
Okay.
Right now, we are credentialed with some, so it depends on what the different insurance you may have. So whatever they say where we can provide the service, that's where we will. But I'm not against going into the homes, because that's something I've always done. Sometimes you get the best information from the home. Okay. So.
Alrighty. And so now I have to ask this question. When it comes to referrals, what is your policy on friends and family?
Well, because I'm licensed by the Arkansas Social Work Board, it's considered a dual relationship. Okay. If you try to see family, friends, and it would be awkward for me.
Okay. I'm sure you know all their craziness anyway, so
right.
Look, I'm going to send you to somebody else and let them deal with you.
Exactly.
Oh my goodness. So, all right. So let's talk about going back into the services. And first, before we get it back into therapy, mental health topics. Let's talk about how people will be billed. And of course, you all know we're nonprofit, non-commercial, so we can't give you a lot of details, but we do want to let people know how they will be billed if they utilize your service.
Okay, because I am a private practice, everything will come through me. So there's no let me put you on hold and connect you to this person, and because that drives me insane.
Okay.
So everything is very personable. So I will get your information from you. I'll even check to see what are your co-pays, what is your down payment, not your down payment, but what are your co-pays, what do you have to pay every time you come in to see me. So we'll work all of that out for you, so you don't have to stress, because it's already stressful enough coming in to counseling. And then it's just like a headache to have to keep calling the insurance people, and they keep connecting you to other people.
Yes.
So we'll handle all of that for them. They can just call us, and then we'll go from there.
Okay, that's awesome. Now, let's talk about the process of someone becomes a patient. You do an assessment. How do you determine how many sessions they need? Is it based only off the assessment, or do you have a set number of sessions already lined up, and then from there you decide how much longer they need to see you?
Well, usually, like, I'll go through the first 3 months just to see, and that's usually 12 sessions, just to see where they are, and then I'll reassess after the 12 sessions.
Okay.
So assessing is a big thing to see how long you need to continue, where they are, how much more do they need to work on, has any new information came up that didn't come up in the beginning, because that happens a lot.
Okay.
So it basically just depends on the individual.
Now, there's sometimes people come in, they're already apprehensive about receiving any type of counseling, therapy, whatever. Some people are apt to not be as forthcoming with information. So, do you have a way of pulling out information that people they think they're hiding from you?
And you expect it. I expect it, because I never think that I have all the information I need during intake.
Okay.
Because you don't want to throw all this information out on the first time you're meeting someone.
Okay.
And them thinking even more that you're just a horrible person, because that's what's going through your head.
Okay.
So it's just the matter of continuing to assess what's going on and building that relationship in the beginning, so that they feel comfortable with opening up to you and expressing what they need.
All right. Now, as you're going through sessions, you have someone, let's just say a child, since a big portion of your services would be for children. You have a child that's really difficult. At one point, they may have been very cooperative, and then all of a sudden you notice a change in behavior, and they're just difficult, to say the least. They don't want to talk, they don't want to play, they just difficult. How do you handle that situation?
So I'm gonna say it again, assessing. That's a big thing. Assessing. So if something changes through the course of our therapies, and I see that a patient or client has gotten worse, then I go back and say, okay, what is missing? What need do they need? So what are they needing from me? What are they needing from this? Has anything changed? Has anything happened? And that's what's great about play therapy, because sometimes it shows you things that is hard to get verbally from people, because your subconscious comes into fruition when you're playing, and you get it down, you just start doing things, and it just comes out.
Now, would you advise, maybe there's some families out there that are not quite ready for therapy, or they feel they're not ready. Would you advise them to just at least watch their children as they play and look for signs and symptoms of something? Because, like you said, children are not going to always tell you, because they may not put the words together in the right way to tell you what's going on. Should parents be on the lookout for things as their children are playing?
If it's something that I wouldn't tell them to just continue to just watch everything. Okay, what is my child doing in play? Oh my goodness, because you would be frantic all the time. But if it's just something obvious, like they're touching a doll in a way that you feel like, that's different.
Okay.
Just speak to your PCP, let them know what's going on, and maybe they can refer you and you can get more information. But just play and be normal with them.
Okay. Then what about, just say, boys who, and I know some people may come at me for this, but I'm studying sociology, and so there's already this theory that gender is a social construct, and how society has put boys and girls in this box, girls with dolls, boys with trucks, and whatever. However, that's kind of sometimes what they lean towards. So anyway, long story short, you see boys playing with trucks, you see them being destructive. Is that cause for alarm? I'm just talking about boys. I know girls can be destructive as well, but looking at the gender roles, is that something that you had to learn or that was discussed also during your play therapy training?
Aggressive play, it depends on what's going on with them.
Okay.
If it's something that's reoccurring, then yes, I'm observing and I'm watching to see where is this going, where are they leading me to.
Okay.
But if it's something that, because kids are just kids,
Yeah.
sometimes they just throw stuff across the room and it may mean nothing to
Okay.
them. So it just depends on how many times it occurs throughout their play while they're with me.
Okay. Now we're going to get ready for a break here. So I'm going to try to ask this question quickly. When kids are in session and you're noticing different behaviors and you had a talk with maybe one parent, do you ask the parents is there anything going on at home? Say there's a case where there's a divorce, a separation, missing parent, for whatever the case may be. Do you really try to get to the bottom of some of those issues as well? Like, are those issues contributing to the child's
Absolutely.
behavior?
Sometimes parents think that they can hide when they're going through issues, divorce, but you can't hide, because when you're having those late night talks, sometimes those kids are up listening, and it comes out in the playroom because, I tell parents to be very careful. Don't think that you can hide what's going on within the family.
All right, so we're going to take a quick break right there. When we come back, we'll talk about more mental health issues, because I do want to get into some of the emotional behavior and how it affects their mental health and things like that. You're tuned into Community Conversations on KLK 102.5 FM. We'll be right back after these announcements. Good morning to you, Ms. Bethany Hill.
You're listening to Community Conversations on KLEK 102.5 FM. We'll be right back.
What's your dream? I'm Mark Merrill with today's Family Minute. Benjamin Mays, mentor to Dr. Martin Luther King, said, "The tragedy of life doesn't lie in not reaching your goal. The tragedy lies in having no goal to reach. It isn't a calamity to die with dreams unfulfilled, but it is a calamity not to dream. It isn't a disgrace not to reach the stars, but it is a disgrace to have no stars to reach for." Well, no matter how discouraging things may seem in the world around us or in our own lives, it's important to have a goal and to teach our children to set goals. Then press on every day to reach them, supporting each other as you go. Remember, your family first.
Want to connect with Mark on Twitter? You can. Follow him at twitter.com/Mark Merrill.
Family Minute is made possible by the Kappa Nu Omega chapter of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated, a non-profit organization committed to service to all mankind. Kappa Nu Omega Alpha Kappa Alpha on Facebook and KNOMEGA1908.com.
Family Minute is brought to you by the Gears Foundation, a nonprofit organization providing students with assistance in their academic and career pursuits. Gears Foundation on Facebook, Gears_Inc. on Instagram, and the Gears Foundation at gmail.com.
Meineke of Jonesboro is now Starks Auto Service, a full-service auto repair and vehicle maintenance center offering engine and transmission repair, brake service, tires, oil changes, and more, performed by ASE certified mechanics. Starks Auto Service, 2813 South Caraway Road in Jonesboro, 870-204-7112. Starks Auto Service, Jonesboro.com. KLEK thanks CJ Pepper and the staff of Life Strategies Counseling Incorporated for helping people through hard times in life such as depression, family issues, stress, abuse, and more. They offer counseling and therapy for all ages, individuals, families, and groups. They are located at 1217 Stone Street. Phone number 1-866-972-1268 or online at lscihelp.com.
Hello, I'm Officer Victoria Evans. I have always had a desire to help others in need and to be an example and role model to young women by encouraging them to never give up on their dreams. My dream was to become a police officer and to serve my community. In 2016, that dream became a reality, and it is the most rewarding experience of my life. Now I want to let you know about the same opportunity. The Jonesboro Police Department will conduct testing every month for patrol officers. Applications are available online at jonesboropolice.com or at the Police Department, 1001 South Caraway Road. The Jonesboro Police Department offers a competitive salary, health, and retirement benefits, top-of-the-line training, and most importantly, the chance to make a difference in the Jonesboro community. Join me in making Jonesboro a better place. The Jonesboro Police Department is an equal opportunity employer, and women and minorities are especially encouraged to apply. More information is available at 870-935-5657.
The Jonesboro Alumni Chapter of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated was established on June 28, 1997 by 13 dynamic women who accepted the challenge and honor of chartering the Jonesboro Alumni Chapter. Today, the chapter continues to impact the Jonesboro community by sponsoring programs such as the Sonia D. Williams Scholarship Breakfast, Back to School Bash, Disaster Preparedness, Delta Academy, Empower African Girls, and Autism Awareness. Our focus correlates with the national theme, uncompromising commitment to communities, service, leadership, empowerment. Our chapter supports Delta's 5-point programmatic thrusts: economic development, educational development, international awareness and involvement, physical and mental health, and political awareness and involvement. More information about the Jonesboro Alumni Chapter of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated is available at www.jonesboroalumnidst.org or via email jonesboroalumni@live.com.
We at KLEK would like to extend a sincere thank you to all of our underwriters and sponsors. If you would like to sponsor or underwrite our programming and help us to educate, entertain, and empower the community, our number is 870-203-9951. Our email address is klek1025fm@gmail.com. The website address is klekfm.org. Again, thank you for listening.
And now back to Community Conversations on KLEK 102.5 FM.
All right, welcome back to Community Conversations on KLEK 102.5 FM. I'm your host, Kabila Jones, and my special guest is Mrs. Mattie Warren from Unique Path Counseling. We have been talking about her agency that is going to be opening soon, and just some therapy and counseling and play therapy topics. I want to get back into our discussion concerning play therapy and just other counseling and therapy services that would be offered also to adults. We ended up talking about when there are changes in the home, how it affects the children, and how parents need to be mindful of what is going on and what they say and do around their kids, because that affects them long term. You talked earlier about how their development of their brain plays a big part in who they are and how they develop to the later years. So the things they experience the younger they are, it can stay with them and affect them. Absolutely. And determine what type of adult they will become.
Right.
So let's talk about Okay, you not only will offer services to children, but you also offer services to adults. What services in particular? I mean, most adults don't want to do play therapy, but I don't mind playing with crayons and stuff, but what type of services will you offer specifically to adults?
As you mentioned, a lot of times we go through traumas at an early age, and it carries on into our adulthood. And you have adults who are having a difficult time living a healthy adult life.
Okay.
So, of course, we'll be offering individual therapy to those clients. But I have done play therapy with adults because it's not just for children. Okay. I mean, you can be used across all spans of life, and it's not just playing that's going on. I mean, you're observing what's going on, and like I mentioned earlier, sometimes we push things down in the back of our brain to try to forget it, but play helps bring that up, because sometimes as an adult we just try to forget it. If I forget it, then it'll go away. Yeah. And I can live the best happy life, but it doesn't go away because you start to repeat things that you've experienced in the past, but you don't see it. Yeah. Wow. So sometimes that stuff shows up as adults. So I like to use play therapy because you can go back to those younger years and work through that trauma. So
kind of walk us through, this is really interesting, walk us through what a potentially play therapy session would be like with an adult. Like what types of, and I hate to say toys, but what types of items?
Well, they're toys because they're the kids' words. So we have something that's called sand tray. Okay. So it's what it sounds like. It's a box with sand in it, but it's the most therapeutic thing that I've ever experienced in my life. And that is something that I would walk all of my adults through. Okay. I think that every adult should experience this. I'm telling you, I went through my sand tray training. I went to St. Louis and got this training, and my husband went with me because he drove, because it was an entire weekend of training, like Friday to Sunday. And I cried the entire weekend because stuff came up that, I mean, as a therapist, sometimes you feel like, I have it all, I got it under control. I've worked through this, but stuff started to come up that I was like, goodness, I thought I've worked through this. But, it's just something that brings it up, with that sand tray. It's amazing.
So as you're working, now I've seen the tray, and there's this little rake kind of like thing.
It's just to rake it and clean it back up.
Okay, so as you're doing this sand tray activity, is the therapist asking you questions to, I guess, direct the conversation, or how does it actually work?
Now, sand tray can be directive or non-directive. Okay. And when I say directive, that means I may say, create me your world. So whatever you feel like is your world at the moment, and then you create it. I have the client to create their world, and when they finish, I will, they can explain it how they want to explain it, and we'll turn it and see what views we see, and see what comes up. Or it can be non-directive, where they can just go with the flow. So whatever's coming up for them, then they put it in the tray.
Oh my goodness.
And we process it that way.
Okay, can I get a session on the side? Like I might need to work through some things before I can move forward in my life.
Yeah, it's very therapeutic. I love it.
Oh wow, that sounds awesome.
So that's what I like to tell adults, because sometimes adults, when they see play therapy, they think that you're actually down, I'm going to be on the floor with them, running in a car into each other, which it may happen and it may not, but it's very therapeutic because we have a lot of training that we have to go through and supervision that we have to go through. So it's just not anyone that's out there doing play therapy. You have to be trained.
That is really awesome. Have you done this type of therapy before with the other agencies you worked for?
I was school-based. The last 5 years I was school-based, not in Jonesboro, but in another town, but I was school-based, and I used it a lot there. They would let me set up in a area of the library where there was no one around.
Okay.
So I would sit up there and my stuff would sit there all day. And then, I mean, it was magical to see how the kids would work through stuff and to see how parents, you know, because they're adults, how they work through what's going on with them. Because a lot of times as parents, we haven't processed our own baggage. So it leaks over to our kids.
Yes.
And then we're leaking over all of our trauma to them, and we don't know why they're all going through a lot of stuff, but that's the reason why. So sometimes they have to have a session just to work through their stuff.
Okay. And we've heard this term quite a bit. You know I've heard it growing up, what we call generational curses. There's a reason why people act the way they act, because there's something, like you said, they haven't processed, they haven't dealt with. They try to push it aside, push it down, away, out of sight, out of mind, and that's not always the case, because there's always going to be a trigger somewhere in life that's going to bring that thing that we try to push away. There's a trigger that's going to make it pop back up.
Exactly.
And until we deal with it, we're just going to be going through the motions of life, and not living our best and most healthy life. So I would advise anyone out there, if don't think something's wrong with you. I would say something's wrong with you if you don't get the help that you need. Our children deserve the best of us. We deserve the best of us.
Right.
If you're in a relationship, your spouse or partner deserves the best of you, and vice versa. So please consider going to therapy, counseling somewhere. It doesn't mean that you're crazy, and I really hate that term. I hate the term crazy. Do you hear that quite often in your field?
Actually I do. But you know who accepts it the most is the kids and the teens. I mean, because in the past I would have teens who would be like, especially when I was in the school, I don't want to be seen walking with you, I don't want to be, but it became, I don't care if people see me, because I like being with you. We worked through a lot of, it became more accepting. So that was amazing. That's why I loved school-based therapy so much.
Okay. Well, I really hope that, as you start gaining clients, that the parents are very supportive of what you're trying to do with their children. And then the adults that come to see you, I hope that they're open to the services that you have to offer, and they accept the help you're trying to give and start the healing process. Yes, it's hard. Yes, it can be messy and ugly and painful, but you have to get through it.
You have to get to the ugly to get to the good.
Okay. I wanted to ask about, and I did bring this up earlier, we did talk about providing off-site services if it was possible, based on your policy and insurance and things of that nature. What about emergency services? You have a client who's in a situation and now they're being held at a facility, or maybe it's a teenager or adult that may be in jail or something. How do you handle emergency situations?
Like in the past, if they were in like detention center for teens, and I mean like a jail system, not like an inpatient facility. Well, they have brought them to see us in the past. Like they'll bring them to the agency to actually see you and then take them back to the jail. But for inpatient facilities, they actually have everything in-house, and they take care of everything, so you can't bill or see them, while they're inpatient, because they get the individual sessions they need, they get the group sessions they need, so and they get to see the psychiatrist on site, so everything's in-house for them.
Okay, so let's I guess go backwards again and just talk about mental health issues in general. Children have mental health issues, adults have mental health issues, and it's not that you're crazy, it's just there's an imbalance somewhere. It could be a chemical imbalance, it could be emotional, whatever the case may be. There was a story I just ran across of a lady from Crittenden County who had a diagnosed disorder, and she drove off into a body of water, killing herself and her 2 children. We need to start taking these, how can I say, stop stigmatizing people, stop calling people names, and then start looking out for people more, start being a community again, and really taking care of each other. Like, how I don't know. Help me.
So what I tell families is that we can't control what's said to us from other people, right? We can't control how they treat us. We can't control that because it's out of our control. That's something I tell everyone. It's out of our control how other people treat us. But what we can control is how we treat each other as a family. To be supportive of one another, check in on each other. If you know you have a family member who suffers from any type of depression or any other serious mental illness, check in on them. Make sure they're taking their medicine. Make sure they're going to see their therapist. Make sure they don't need anything that's going to stress them out even more. Whether that's rides to see their doctor, food, because there's so many resources out there that can help alleviate some of that pain, that they may feel.
Yes, and one thing about, especially in the Black community, in the Black families, we don't talk about issues. We just say, you're okay, go sit down somewhere, like
go and pray.
Yes,
that's a big one.
But at some point, you need to do more than just pray. There's a reason there are doctors available, because sometimes you need more than just prayer. Your answer to your prayer may be go see this doctor, this facilitator that can help you with your issue. Have you seen a lot of patients, especially within the Black community, where the parents or the adults have just tried to suppress whatever the children are dealing with?
Yes.
And then it leads to bigger issues.
So it takes a lot of work, because a lot of times they say, we'll handle it at home. They're going to church. We're going to take them to church, and they're going to get prayed over. But I always bring this up. I say, okay, so if you're going to the doctor and the doctor tells you that your child has asthma, and they need this albuterol inhaler to breathe, to function, to live a healthy life, would you not give it to them? Would you take them to the doctor and say, just pray over them so their lungs can be healthier, or just pray over them so they can get some air in their lungs? I feel like God puts people in places for a reason. So we have doctors, you have eye doctors, you have brain doctors, I feel like all these people are put in places so that they can help our entire world to be a healthier place.
Yes. And so therapists are put in place for a reason as well.
Right.
I mean, we need someone to talk to that is trained on how to deal with the different issues that come up. I would advise anyone, please do not hesitate to go see a therapist, a counselor, someone that is trained to help you work through your issues. We need more healthy people in this world. There's so many issues that we could talk about, the stories that have been in the news of people that have committed crimes or have done other things out of having some mental issues, emotional issues that led to behavioral issues. Another thing I wanted to ask about, in the olden days, and I say old days, like when I was growing up in the early 80s and 90s, we were quick to call kids bad, label them as just bad if they had certain behavior issues. But that behavior, again, is linked to something. Exactly. There's something going on to why that child is acting that way. If that child continues to act that way without getting the help they need, they become an adult who acts out in a certain way. So
I have a favorite quote that I like to tell myself over and over again, because sometimes it gets so hard working with kids, but it's by Dr. Ross Green, and he says, if they could do better, they would.
Okay.
So it's up to us as adults to give them the tools that they need to do better. I don't think that a student goes to school and say, I'm just going to act like a holy terror today. I'm going to make the teacher upset. I'm going to make the principal mad. I don't think they go to school like that. It's just like I mentioned earlier, they can't process it. They can't make good decisions because it's not developed. So it's our job to make sure they get the right help that they need, to make sure that everything is connecting in their brain so that they're able to make better decisions. So it's our responsibility.
Yesterday I was having a conversation with a gentleman who runs an organization, talking to teens about drug use and abuse, and getting them to not engage in that. He said the one one of the issues that he's noticed, parents often say don't do something, but they don't tell you why not to do it, and we wonder why we have so many kids doing things. They do it out of curiosity sometimes, because we've told them don't do that, don't do that, don't do that, but we don't tell them why not to do it, what long-term effect it will have on you. And I can see that relating to children's behavior. We just say don't scream, don't yell, don't sit down, be quiet. Like, we tell them, we give them all these directives without having a real conversation of why this behavior is inappropriate.
And something that I expressed is family meetings. This is something that we do in our family. We did in our family when my boys were growing up. And it gives kids a voice so they can feel like, okay, they hear me, they care, you know, I'm being seen. And it was nothing to say. It was nothing for my kids to say, can we have a meeting? You know, because they may have felt like something wasn't good for them, something wasn't fair for them. And you just have to listen. As adults, you can't be like, because I said so. Yes. Because that's not going to cut it. And then that's when you start saying because I said so, that's when you have kids that start being rebellious and going against the grain. So just let them be heard, and then compromise. It's okay to compromise with kids. And that's what I recommend to all my families. Make sure you have that family meeting. Allow those kids to be heard and seen and feel like they're important in the family, because sometimes it's just the mom and the dad that you have as the head, but you just forget about the kid. But you know, make them feel like they're important, like they're a part of that family too.
That's awesome. I never thought about that. Okay, this got me thinking. Thinking about my son and I's relationship. I realized some areas that I dropped the ball, and I can't go backwards, but I can only try to do better going forward. Now I'm still struggling with saying he's an adult. He's 21. He's 21, so to me he's still my child, but I know he's a young adult. Right. But I'm still trying to find that balance of talking to him like he's older, but still, I don't know.
And that's something we struggle with as parents, because as they age, then your parenting style has to change. So if you have an 8-year-old and you have a 13-year-old, they can't be parented the same way, because it's not going to work. Yeah. They're two different people. They're two different at two different stages of their life. So as they grow, you have to grow as their parent, as far as how you communicate with them and how you allow them to come and communicate back with you. Okay. So it's just, all that has to adjust.
Okay. Well, I can't thank you enough for wow, you really helped open my eyes to a lot of things, and I hope that everyone listening and watching has learned something. But we're not done with the show, so we have another segment where we're going to wrap up, but I just wanted to say thank you for providing this information. Some people, like myself, may not have had a clue as to what therapy really offers. You know, we think it's just sitting down one-on-one with a therapist and talking about your feelings, and then that's it. There's so much more involved in that. So many different levels to the sessions. Alright, so I'm sorry, we're going to take a quick break. We come back, I'll let you wrap up any information we didn't cover, and I'll let people know how to get in touch with you, and you know when you will be offering services. So you're tuned into Community Conversations on KLEK 102.5 FM. We'll be right back after these announcements.
You're listening to Community Conversations on KLEK 102.5 FM. We'll be right back.
We're back with Money Matters. I'm Alfred Edmond Jr. The IRS has updated its Dirty Dozen tax scams, and phone scams are high on the list, with callers pretending to be from the IRS in hopes of stealing money or identities from victims. Scam callers may say you owe money or that you're entitled to a huge refund. Some calls can threaten arrest and/or revocation of your driver's license. IRS phone scammers will also use fake names and IRS badge numbers. They may be able to recite the last 4 digits of your Social Security number. They'll also ask for specific payment methods for your taxes. Listen, you can avoid the drama altogether by remembering that the IRS will never use unsolicited phone calls, texts, social media, or email to discuss a personal tax issue. I'm Alfred Edmond Jr. for Money Matters, a product of American Urban Radio Networks.
Money Matters is made possible by the Jonesboro Alumni Chapter of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated, a nonprofit organization dedicated to uncompromising commitment to communities, service, leadership, empowerment. www.jonesboroalumnidst.org.
Money Matters is brought to you by Bancorp South, offering checking, savings, loans, credit cards, and wealth management. 5 locations in Jonesboro to serve you. www.bancorpsouth.com or 870-972-9800.
Money Matters is brought to you by the Gears Foundation, a nonprofit organization providing students with assistance in their academic and career pursuits. Gears Foundation on Facebook, Gears_Inc. on Instagram, and the Gears Foundation at gmail.com.
KLEK is conducting a listener survey that will allow for you to give feedback on the station. The information from responses to the survey will allow us to make KLEK a better radio station for you. The survey is on our website, www.klekfm.org, or if you need a paper copy, you can call the station on our business line, 870-203-9915. We ask that as many listeners as possible fill out the survey so that we may have the best possible feedback to continue to educate, entertain, and empower you and be your radio station. As a token of our appreciation, one lucky person who completes the survey will win $102.50. You must submit your email on the survey in order to qualify to win. The winner will be drawn August 1st. Also, each week in July, a winner will be drawn to win his or her choice of a KLEK coffee mug or hat. Again, the KLEK listener survey is on our website, www.klekfm.org. KLEK thanks everyone for their support.
Support for KLEK is brought to you by...
At Glen Sane, we don't just sell cars and trucks. We build relationships. This is Danny Ford. We have a long list of customers that are also our friends. Always know we're here for you. Glen Sane, God bless our troops.
The Mu Omicron Lambda chapter of Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated was established on January 1st, 1977, originally serving Blytheville, Arkansas, and now serving Jonesboro, Blytheville, Osceola, Marion, and West Memphis, Arkansas. Today, the chapter continues to make an impact by focusing on Alpha's national community outreach initiatives such as My Brother's Keeper, A Voteless People is a Hopeless People, Go to High School, Go to College, Project Alpha, Boy Scouts, and the March of Dimes. The Mu Omicron Lambda chapter of Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated is committed to Alpha's mission of developing leaders, promoting brotherhood and academic excellence, while providing service and advocacy to the community. More information about the Mu Omicron Lambda chapter of Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated is available at MOL Alphas on Facebook or via email at molalphas@gmail.com.
The McDaniel Law Firm, 400 South Main Street in Jonesboro, is a firm believer in justice and equality for the minority community. The McDaniel Law Firm has fought for our rights for over 44 years. The McDaniel Law Firm offers legal help for wrongful death as well as trucking and automobile accidents. Bobby and Brett McDaniel are available for a free consultation at 870-336-4747 or at www.mcdaniellawyers.com.
The Black Professionals Network of Jonesboro presents the Community Back to School Bash, Saturday, August 4th, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. at the Parker Park Community Center, 1506 North Church Street in Jonesboro. Backpacks and school supplies for kids K-12 will be distributed. There will also be lunch provided, health screenings, and vendor booths. More information, blackprofessionalsnetwork@gmail.com or www.bpnjonesboro.org.
The Epic Center, located at 1899 Hasbrook Road, County Road 333, is Jonesboro's newest venue for entertainment for the entire family. They offer an auditorium with theater-style seating for up to 1,100 guests, a large stage, professional lighting and sound, dressing rooms, concessions, and more. Available for weddings, concerts, pageants, birthday parties, showers, and more. Booking and other information is available at Epic Center Jonesboro on Facebook, epiccenterjonesboro.com, and at 870-530-5841.
House of Details, located at 3217 Herb Street, Suite C, is a proud supporter of KLEK, offering detailing on any type of vehicle: waxing, clear coat protection, basic wash, hand wash, shampoo, interior cleaning, buffering, headlight restoration, pickup, delivery, and more. With a motto of, anything mean, we can clean. Details available via Quentin Bogard at 870-273-5187. House of Details on Facebook and houseofdetailsjonesboro.com.
And now back to Community Conversations on KLEK 102.5 FM.
All right, welcome back to Community Conversations on KLEK 102.5 FM. I am speaking with Mrs. Mattie Warren from Unique Path Counseling. I hope that you all have enjoyed this conversation as much as I have. I want to say good morning to Miss Keisha Hagans. If you've missed quite a bit, Miss Keisha, so you have to go back and rewatch the video to see the beginning of the discussion. But thank you so much, Miss Mattie, for joining us and sharing this information.
More than welcome.
Concerning therapy, counseling services, and I am looking forward to, following up with you with the patients. Of course, due to HIPAA laws and confidentiality, you can't share, exact details, but just to see from the beginning when patients come to you and have with you their sessions, how they're progressing and how they're really taking to the services that you have to offer. I would love to definitely follow up with how things are going. So in these last few moments, I'm going to let you either recap, give your contact information, and just share any other final thoughts you would like the public to know.
Okay. So if you are, I know this school is right around the corner. So everyone, just make sure that if you are having any issues with your child in the school system, or they're not, you're getting a lot of calls from the teachers or the principal, just reach out to anyone. It doesn't have to be us. Just reach out to someone and make sure that you get them the help that they need so that they can have a successful school year.
Okay.
And I am excited to announce that on August the 9th, at 3 o'clock, we will have our ribbon cutting and open house. So if you would like to come by and just see what we offer and better understand what's going on with this play therapy that I've been talking about. Just come by and you can ask questions and just get more clarification of what you need. We are located at 2005 East Highland Drive, Suite 212. Just come by, or you can give us a call at 870-275-4702. You can just give us a call and ask us any questions you might need. Also on August 11th, right after our ribbon cutting, is the same weekend, there is a back to school bash. So if your students or if your children are needing some supplies for school, it's going to be free backpacks at Allen Park. It's going to be hosted by Shamal Carter. On August 11th from 12 to 5. We will be a vendor sitting out there, so if you want to come by and ask questions, and I will have some fun activities for the kids as well. So I'm a play therapist, so we got to do something fun.
That's right.
So we will have something fun set up out there, me and my husband Michael. So just come by and enjoy. It's free food, free supplies. It should be a fun day. I'm looking forward to that week.
All right. Also, speaking on therapy and counseling services, Mr. Carter and some of his colleagues will be offering many sessions, like 15 minutes or less, for those who have questions and want some one-on-one time. So there'll be a multitude of services being offered on that day. So please go out August 11th, Allen Park, 12 to 5. Backpacks, food, counseling, and more. So, all right. We thank everyone for tuning in and watching. Good morning to Javante. You're going to have to go back and watch the beginning of the video. You missed the whole lot, girl. Thank you, Miss Mattie, for joining us today.
I'm glad you asked me to be here.
Thank you. Everyone have a great and blessed day, and stay hydrated.
Thank you for listening to Community Conversations on KLEK 102.5 FM, a program focusing on the people working to make the Jonesboro community a better place while offering viewpoints from all sides of the issues. The views expressed in this program